Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Ndung'u. If it is your very first time to be here, karibu sana. Please do subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified every time we post. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for staying tuned. Welcome to this year. Today, we are talking about oneness in marriage. How can we achieve oneness in marriage? What are the importance of oneness? For those that are asking, what is oneness? I admire old couples that have stayed together, they have nurtured their relationship, and they even start to look alike, and sometimes they have inside jokes. But all this is cultivated and it is worked on. I know it is your desire. If you are married, you want the same. If you're yet to get married, it is also a desire of yours. I want us to nurture oneness in marriage. How can two separate people come together to become one? The Bible says the man shall leave his father and mother and join his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Have you ever asked yourself, how do these two people, separate individuals with different personalities, come together, fuse together to form one person, one flesh? So our first point, ensure that you guys have similar values. And what do I mean by values? Values define who you are. If you have different values, you will never become one. If there is a similarity in your values, it is easier for you to become one. Don't be marrying someone who does not value family ethics, yet you do. Because when you're planning to have a family get together, they will be busy going off for work and giving you lame excuses. This will offend you and you will hold grudges and you will not become a unit. You cannot marry a liar and yet you hate liars. You need to be true to your values. If you have not yet found a spouse, you are in the single zone and you're looking for a spouse, get someone who has the same values as yourself. If you have already married a spouse and maybe this was not something that you were thinking about, then work on it. Write them down and work on them. If you decide that you want to spend time together as a family, then sacrifice and do the same so that you guys can have similar values and grow together as one. The other thing is to commit completely, especially when challenges arise. We have this saying when we say for better, for worse during our vows. We don't only accept this person for the good they bring, but also even in hard times. Hard times, every marriage has its ups and downs. So don't be so quick to divorce the significant other because of challenges that come. A good example would be the year 2020. There was a pandemic that hit everywhere. People were hardworking, but they lost their jobs. So don't be so quick to look at the outward appearance of a person, what they have, the material value that they bring, and you forget that this is the person you fell in love with. The challenges that come might be also caused by our own weaknesses and flaws, but you said, yes, I do to this person. Learn to work with that person. Continue working and developing each other and becoming better. Iron sharpens iron. So what you see that you need to work on your spouse, do the same. But be assured that you cannot change a person. All you can do is create room for improvement. If the person loves you and they want to make life work together with you, then they will honestly put their best effort. If they don't, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but you have to deal with the person you said I did to. And I hope that the person that you're working with is someone who is willing to go out of their way to make your marriage work. Another thing is seek oneness through fidelity and marital intimacy. Make sure that you're intimate with your partner and do not be so quick to cheat, to go out there or develop emotional connection with someone. I know women, when we are hurt, when we are upset, you want to commit emotionally to someone. Yes, you're not having sex with them, but the minute you connect with another man emotionally, you have already cheated on your spouse. And that is the beginning of infidelity in your marriage, because you will start developing feelings because your emotions are already there and they're already invested. So try as much as possible to develop fidelity in your marriage. Yeah. Another one is just become equal partners. There is no superior or inferior in marriage, especially in decision making. Anytime you make the other spouse feel inferior. They will always, you will create an environment that is not conducive for the other party to grow. If you are the one who is bringing in the money, don't feel like you need to put down the other party. If anything, encourage them, allow them to blossom in whatever season they are in, and give them space and room to improve themselves, even as they grow and they become the better versions of themselves. So don't allow anyone to put your wife, your husband down just because you're earning more or less than they are. Okay? In decision making, give them an opportunity. Listen to what they have to say because they have ideas. Men that have superiority complex, you feel like you cannot listen to a woman. Their work is to do house chores, to raise babies, to wash your clothes. You need to listen to that girl because she's a helper. She's coming in your life because she's coming to help you. And there are decisions that they will help. If they warn you about someone, think twice. If they tell you don't invest in that business, I feel something is not right with your business partner, you need to listen, because sooner or later you don't want to hear the other person telling you, I told you so. So because you are one, you are building a unit together, you are becoming together. So you need to listen and you need to take advice and you need to hear what the other person is saying. Any decision that is made by both of you comes from both of you. So none of you should feel like when my wife says something, I shouldn't listen, because they represent you when they're out there. They are called Mrs. someone, Mr. someone. So they represent you too. You came together, you became Mr. and Mrs. so-and-so, Mr. and Mrs. Flani, as we are Mr. and Mrs. Ndung'u. So for as long as Mrs. Ndung'u is speaking, she is representing the unit of Ndung'u. For as long as Mr. Ndung'u is speaking, he is representing the unit of Ndung'u. So both of us are partners and we should be equal partners. And I know it is a journey. It is something that you need to juggle because it is work. So we work it until it works. Okay? Again, plan to spend time together alone. I know that it has been said and it is becoming just a cliche saying, but you guys need to spend time together. I know that the more you live together, you assume, we have stayed together for 10 years. So what is there that I need to discover? Remember, every time and every season of life, whatever you guys go through, when your spouse leaves the house, they meet with their colleagues, they develop themselves, they continue improving and they continue getting promotions in their job. They develop, they change, they mature. There are things that your spouse was 10 years ago, they didn't think the same like they are now. So you need to always keep yourself informed on what is happening with my partner. Their love languages continue to grow, they continue to change. So you need to actually give yourself time to learn your partner. Men always complain that, we don't understand women. The thing is, women change every other time. It's not just the hormones that change, our personalities change, things happen and you grow, you become wiser. And another reason of spending time together is so that you can be able to read your partner's body language. There are things that they don't need to actually say. When you look at them, uyo, I'm a jam. That one is just not feeling okay. The way she's walking, she's not fine. You don't necessarily need to hear them say, but how does that come? It comes from you guys spending time together. And when you make the decision to spend time together, please don't go with your kids. It is not a vacation where you carry your entire family. You even carry your in-laws. No, it is the two of you alone. Okay? Yes. So take time together and get to know each other better. What better way for you guys to become one than spending time together? The other thing to achieve oneness is focus on making your partner happy. I know sometimes that as women we beg for so much, but happiness goes a long way in achieving oneness. Every time you compromise on either your principles, on things that you necessarily wouldn't do because of your partner, all you do is that you're planting good seeds, you're putting love on your love bank, and you will actually reap. You will get an overflow. It's going to the bank, depositing and expecting returns, and you will get very good returns. Okay, so invest in your spouse, in your spouse's happiness. Be genuine, be very be very genuine in trying to make them happy. Go out of your way, because every time you sow something, they will reciprocate. Yeah, and that in turn just keeps growing you and drawing you closer to one another, and you guys become one. Sawa sawa. Okay, another one is having intimate communication. We have talked about communication in marriages. Why do we communicate? I communicate to expect our desired feedback. If you are communicating and whatever you're saying, you're not receiving the desired response, that means there is a disconnect in the communication. So it is not just about communicating, it is making sure that the communication is effective. The communication between the two of you is effective. For you to have effective communication, you have to be intimate with each other. You have to break down each other's walls. You have to be vulnerable to each other. You need to trust one another so that you can break the walls that might act as barriers between the two of you. You need to make sure that there are no secrets between the two of you. No one should come and tell your significant other something new about your spouse. You should already be in the know. If something happens, be the first one. Make it a habit to tell them as the first person. You know, when good things happen, call them, rejoice together. When sad and unfortunate things happen, make sure that your spouse is the first person you call and communicate. They need to be in that space to empathize with you. So for you guys to have effective communication, be intimate, be vulnerable to each other, empathize with each other, love on each other. Even as you communicate with love, with respect. Yeah, because for you guys to communicate effectively, you need to also be respectful, even when you're communicating something that does not really work for you. If I feel like I need to tell my husband something and it is something that really pisses me off, I just need to find better ways to do it. Use a nice way to approach whatever the issue is, and make sure that there is effective communication. It is not about screaming, it is not about shouting, it is not about saying, that is just how I felt, so I need to just tell you hivyo ikuje tu venye inakam. No, you also need to package your words properly so that you don't hurt the other person. Because one thing I know is that words have their own weight, and there is something that you can say that will be held against you 20 years to come. Another thing is pray together. God is the one who had the marriage idea. It is a God idea. Marriage is coming of two people that are joined together by God for a specific purpose. You are together to accomplish purpose. So if you do not pray together, how will you know this purpose? How can you guys just ash things out if you guys don't involve God in your issues? Yeah, there is a place where the only thing that can work is prayer. There are things that you will call into being when you pray together. And it's not praying for each other, because that we all do. It is not God, remember my husband. No, it is the two of you holding hands together, praying for each other, honestly seeking God together, calling on God, the two of you. One thing that does is that it brings you together as a unit, because you are together in prayer. You command a blessing. God says in his word that where there is unity, I command a blessing. And that is all we are talking about. For you guys to be blessed, you need to be united. Show a united front, not only in the physical, but even in the spiritual. Fight things together. If there is an issue that you guys are battling, battle together. Yeah? Pray for one another. Pray for each other. Hold hands and agree on things. Move mountains together. Okay? And I know that you guys, even as you come together in prayer, God will indeed be with you, and you guys can move mountains, and your marriage and even the two of you will become one. Another thing that prayer does is that it helps you fight other things that you don't know. We that come from African setups, we know that we battle a lot of generational curses, a lot of generational things, and You just need to pray it together, and God will see you through that challenge, so that you guys don't end up in divorce. Some battles that you're fighting about, things that you're arguing about, look at your generation. If there are things that are recurring, agree together in prayer. And that is why we said, even as we began this channel, you need to have the same values, because two cannot work together unless they agree. So if you guys don't agree on the values of, like, we need to set time for prayer, then you guys cannot work together for sure. Yeah, so yeah, back to that first point. Be of the same, be alike. Yeah, be alike. And I know that when you continue to pray together, God will unite you even the more. Last but not least, you need to forgive your spouse. I have been hurt so many times in my past, but every heart is different, and every forgiveness requires a lot from you. It is a lot. You need to forgive. In marriage, you need to forgive day in, day out. This is the person that will know you the most. They will know you the most. You are vulnerable before them. God said they became one. They became naked. You are naked and unashamed with this particular person. So there are things that they will do. You look at them and you wonder, what have you just done? You know me. I have allowed you into my inner chambers, but you are the person that hurts me the most. And that happens a lot in marriages. And the enemy will use your spouse to hurt you, will use your spouse to make you feel like you are nothing, because sometimes he wants to break the two of you, and he will use you against each other. That's why, referring to the previous point, pray together. Yeah, so forgiveness takes a lot of you. You will need to forgive every other time. For you to be happy, you need to intentionally forgive. Work it. Forgive even when the mistake has not been done. Forgive. Have forgiveness until for today and tomorrow. You need to forgive. I will hurt my spouse. I have hurt my husband. Yeah, he has hurt me, but we need to get to that place where, what, I made a decision. I said I do. It is you and me till death do us apart. So I cannot be carrying bitterness of something he did 3 years ago, and 7 years later, I still carry the same heart. You need to forgive. And if whatever has been done to you is just something that bruised you so deep, then again prayer comes in. Extend grace to your partner. Pray for that thing. Allow God to work on you and heal you, because you need to heal and heal together. There are things that happen also to the both of you that are caused by external factors. You also need to allow God to work you guys through it together. Yeah, don't think about divorce every time you're hurt. Don't throw the divorce card every time something happens. The first thing you should think about is that I made a decision consciously to love this man, to love this woman till death do me part. Me and him are parted till death. So before you throw the divorce card, think about, what can I do for this marriage to work? If I need to forgive, I will forgive. Yeah? And one thing that I want and I desire is that our marriages grow, blossom, become beautiful. You need to enjoy life. And life, especially for us that are in marriage, revolve around our family. It is the first unit. Before I go to work, I'm working because I'm trying to make my family work. Yeah? Before I do things, I'm doing it with my family. Holidays, I'm given time to spend with my family. So a lot of things that we are doing because of our families, because of our children, because of our spouses. We want to provide for them. We want to give them a comfortable life. We want to be able to afford a vacation so that we can go and have fun with them. We want to have enough money so that we can pay our the school fees for our children. So you see, the family setup is the first thing that causes us to be very hardworking, and that is why I am passionate about marriages. I am passionate about the family unit, and we will do a lot more content about marriage and about relationships, because I believe that that is the fundamental meaning of our fundamental socialization point, because that is where we begin to socialize. Our children learn from us. If me and my husband are not okay, my children will pick that. If we do not show our united front, they will manipulate us. So of course we need to work together. Now, for all these points I have given, someone is still asking me, hey, we have talked about oneness, but what is oneness, Marian? What is oneness? Oneness is you guys hashing things out, becoming a unit, you being united. Yeah. So oneness is just that unity in your marriage, okay? And I want you to have that. So try and work on the things that we have talked about. If you are single and you're desiring a marriage that is united, you need to begin to know first and foremost that marriage is work. And you need to intentionally work on it for it to work. So thank you so much for your time. My name is Ndung'u. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have gotten to the end of this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified every time we post, kindly, and see you on the next vlog. Come again and again, and let's do this until we are comfortable in our marriages, until our marriages heal. For those that their marriages are bleeding, let's work our marriages and make them work together. Yeah? See you on the next vlog. Bye-bye.